Senate President Francis Escudero wielded his budgetary influence to insert a staggering $142.7 billion into the proposed $6.3 trillion 2025 national budget, channeling funds into infrastructure and flood control projects riddled with red flags, ranging from overlapping roadworks to questionable flood mitigation efforts. A summary of insertions obtained by Politico reveals how Escudero funneled billions into what appear to be politically motivated allocations, raising serious concerns over transparency, duplication, and backdoor deal-making masquerading as development. Escudero's budgetary maneuvering came at the expense of core government priorities. According to Global Source Partners, a New York-based think tank, allocations for social services and economic programs dropped by 33.4% and 29.2%, respectively, compared to the 2024 budget, a steep price paid for pork. The lion's share of Escudero's insertions went to political allies and home turfs. Bulacan, the stronghold of Senator Joel Villanueva, received the single largest chunk with $12.08 billion. Villanueva, a close ally of Escudero, is reportedly poised to reclaim the post of Senate Majority Leader if Escudero formally assumes Senate leadership on July 28. Sorsogon, Escudero's own province, came in second with $9.1 billion. Other top recipients include 1. Mindoro, $8.37 billion. 2. Batangas, $7.32 billion. 3. Davao, $7.2 billion. 4. Misamis Occidental, $6.5 billion. 5. Quezon, $5.9 billion. 6. Cavite, $5.6 billion. 7. Valenzuela City, $4.251 billion. 8. Cebu, $4 billion. Flood control projects got a sizable share of the insertions in the top 10 areas that received allocations from Escudero at $17 billion. While flooding remains a chronic problem in the Philippines, particularly during typhoon season, the manner in which these projects were listed raised eyebrows. In General Naker, Quezon, for instance, Escudero inserted 5 flood control projects along the Agos River, each worth $150 million, and labeled them as phases despite seemingly referring to the same area and waterway. Collectively, these flood control phases amount to $750 million, raising suspicions of budget layering, a practice where the same or similar projects are listed in parts to bypass scrutiny and inflate allocations. Even more concerning, the entries lack engineering detail, geographic coordinates, or references to previous feasibility studies. In some cases, they simply state, construction of flood mitigation structure along Agos River, General Naker, Phase X. In Bulacan, Escudero's second most favored province after his own Sorsogon, multiple line items reveal near-identical road projects repeated under slightly altered titles or segmented kilometer markings. The Sta Rita Bayak na Bato Road in San Miguel, Bulacan was listed multiple times, under names such as Segment A, Segment B, Segment C, and Packages A through E. Each of these entries had a uniform cost of $100 million, adding up to $500 million for what essentially appears to be one road corridor. Another road, the San Miguel-Cibol Road, also appeared 4 times, again split into Package A to Package D, with identical $100 million allocations. That's $400 million for the same route. These patterns suggest a deliberate attempt to slice projects into smaller chunks, each remaining under thresholds that typically trigger closer scrutiny by the Department of Budget and Management or the Commission on Audit. Multiple entries for the same road sections or with overlapping kilometer markers, especially in Bulacan and Quezon, suggest possible duplication of funding or budget padding. Another red flag is the series of solar street lighting projects across eastern Bulacan Road, General Alejo Santos Highway, Plaridel Access Road, and stretches of the Maharlika Highway. These were all marked at $100 million each, regardless of actual road length or vehicle/pedestrian traffic volume. In San Miguel, Dona Remedios Trinidad, and San Rafael, multiple entries for solar street lights popped up with striking similarity in language and cost. The repetition raises questions not just of redundancy, but of whether these projects are based on actual needs assessments or merely crafted to pad the province's total budget share. Several flood control initiatives were listed as being for nationwide implementation, with allocations reaching $500 million per line item, yet no provinces, coordinates, or hazard maps were included to justify these figures. For example, there was an item for the construction of flood mitigation structures, nationwide, with a $500 million allocation. Without clear definitions, oversight of these funds becomes nearly impossible, opening the door for ghost projects or politically influenced implementation. While ESCUDERO was responsible for majority of the insertions, he also included several items that were labeled as being on behalf of Senator Bongo, totaling over $3 billion. Items under this category include the construction of barangay health stations as well as super health centers for a total of $633 million. Over 50 barangay health stations, rural health units, and super health centers were funded at $3 million to $10 million each, while provinces like Batangas, Palawan, Laguna, and Camarines Sur received 3 to 5 health centers each. There was a separate $83 million allotted for the completion or repair of rural health units, as well as a total of $400 million for hospitals run by the local government units and Department of Health. Under the guise of healthcare improvements, 1.88 billion pesos was allocated for motor vehicles, including ambulances and official cars for local governments and military units, far more than actual health infrastructure like hospitals and dialysis centers. Every year, budgets are allocated by the Senate on all the same projects, yet it's the same problems and issues the citizen of the Philippines face. And with all what's been said, are these insertions to budget even necessary, or is it just a way to please Chis Escudero's allies to retain his Senate presidency?
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for the latest hot news of the press.